Welcome to the IPFW Student Worker Orientation video.
My name is Haley.
And my name is Chase, and we are employees at the IPFW Department of Theater.
We will guide you through this worker orientation video.
So, you're hired, but what happens next?
You might want to have a pen and paper to jot down any questions as you watch.
It will give you a basic overview of what to expect as a student worker.
This video will include your responsibilities and supervisor expectations,
Benefits of being a student worker.
what you need to know, and advice.
From
the
perspectives
of current
student.
workers.
Remember,
It's definitely a lot more professional.
It's more of a professional position.
You learn grooming and how to dress, how to look professional.
This is definitely more professional.
Represent IPFW in the Student Life Office in a professional manner.
you are a professional.
They're in some ways a different kind of employee, but when it comes right down to it, it's still the same thing as even the full-time employees, the professional people.
What are your responsibilities as a student worker?
When you have a problem, to be able to fix it. Definitely representing that specific office. Just maintaining a good image and definitely being a role model for other students and incoming students.
And knowing the information, and if you don't know it, where to get that information from.
Make sure you have a positive attitude. Communicate effectively. What expectations does your supervisor have for you outside your job duties?
Some supervisors are very open about what you can do at work. Not that open.
Know where supplies are. There's nothing worse than needing a stapler and not knowing where it is.
For orientation assistant, I would say our supervisor expects us to be prompt, to be on time, and if we're going to be late, let her know that we're going to be late.
You also want to know what's going to be on your evaluation. That way you can know your supervisor's expectations and how to work toward those goals and expectations.
Know material that you're supposed to have and communicate it well. Maintain a certain GPA. Be a good student as well. Stay up to date on relevant topics for your office. Know IPFW students' needs. Focus on the best way to help. What are the benefits of being a student worker? What skills have you learned?
I feel like you can develop so much more working in a college and working with your peers and learning from people that are more educated and just being in that kind of environment. I just think you grow so much more as a person.
This one is a lot more relatable to my major, so I'm getting work experience while working here.
A lot of people that I work with have either PhDs or master's degrees. So I think there is an initial communication barrier between a student and someone who has a PhD. There's certain lingo that you can use. Likewise with talking with chancellors and vice chancellors, there's a certain way to approach those types of conversations. And I think working on campus, you really learn how to talk in a professional manner to the appropriate people.
And you might be dealing with someone who will be a future employer of yours, so you never know. I met a lot of people, made a lot of contacts, and then that led directly to my getting a full-time job.
As a student, you can also request for funding for professional development activities. Check out the Indiana-Purdue Student Government Funding page online. One of the Student Senate's many roles is to allocate money to students and student organizations for events, programs, and travel. Being a student worker, you are in a friendly environment. Your schedule is very flexible. Take opportunities to take initiative with your own ideas. This is also an opportunity to clarify your own career goals and gain more transferable skills.
Now, we want to know what you think.
Will being a student worker decrease my eligibility for scholarships or grants?
No. I wouldn't say that, no.
No, I do not believe so because I received one this past semester and it's leaning over into the next year.
No, you are just as eligible to apply for scholarships and grants. Work-study earnings don't affect FAFSA for next year.
Your income does not count against you for aid for your work study if you qualify for it.
Will my student worker wages be automatically applied to my tuition?
Of course not.
No.
No.
No, we receive a paycheck every 2 weeks.
No. You will receive your earnings in the form of direct deposit to the bank account you have selected.
From there, you will pay your tuition bill to the bursar in person or online.
Direct deposit is required at IPFW. There are options out there for a free checking account with no minimum balance.
Check out the on-campus IU Credit Union at Kettler 198F or online at iucu.org.
Will I have the student worker position automatically next year?
Good morning. Hey, John. How you doing? Good. Great. So I don't have a job here anymore? No. I thought that was understood.
No.
Depending on our performance and our...
Okay.
For me specifically as a resident assistant, we have to reapply every year.
Possibly. It all depends on if your office will hire you again for next year.
This decision depends on many factors such as your budget and your work ethic.
Be sure to have a discussion with your employer so you are both on the same page. Are you familiar with FERPA, the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act? FERPA is necessary to know if you work with student educational records. Ask your supervisor to show you the quiz and tutorial on the registrar's website.
You may have a role in protecting the academic, financial, or medical records of students at IPFW.
How do you handle conflict and get to a resolution in your capacity as a student worker? Ask someone for advice. Sometimes it's not you. Students can be frustrated. Understand other perspectives. Maintain a positive mindset. Follow the policy that's already in place in your office, and send them to the right people for more help. Do you know what you would do if you found yourself being discriminated against by a student or supervisor, or you were being harassed? What is harassment?
Harassment is conduct towards person or identifiable group that has the purpose or effect of either creating and intimidating a hostile educational environment, work environment, or environment for participation in a university activity, or unreasonably interfering with a person's educational environment, work environment, or environment for participation in a university activity, or unreasonably affecting a person's educational or work opportunities or participation in university activities.
This includes all forms of harassment, including racial harassment and sexual harassment. What is discrimination?
Discrimination is the process of illegally differentiating between people on the basis of group membership rather than individual merit.
Purdue University prohibits discrimination against any member of the university community on the basis of race, religion, color, sex, age, national origin or ancestry, genetic information, marital status, parental status, sexual orientation, gender identity or expression, disability, status as a veteran. Who do you report an incident to?
Definitely go to police and safety, and if you needed to call them, it would be 911.
Your supervisor, the Office of Institutional Equity,
Or even the Dean of Students.
When do you report an incident?
Immediately. The sooner that you report something, the faster things can get taken care of.
Immediately.
right away.
What on-campus resources do you use as a student worker? There are many resources on campus, including IT services, printing services, physical plant, the health clinic, student assistance, Office of Diversity and Multicultural Affairs, lynda.com tutorials, and the list goes on. Does your office have an emergency plan if there were a tornado, active shooter, etc.?
Oh, we actually have it right here in the emergency handbook.
Our plane is right here right in front of our door.
If you don't have an emergency plan for your office, ask your supervisor.
We are almost done with the orientation video.
Here are a few more important topics.
How do you balance work, school, fun, family, and friends?
It definitely was a huge slap in the face. So it definitely took some adjusting to get used to. You just have to know when stuff's due and just do it ahead of time and not procrastinate, which is always a good thing.
Having a job on campus makes it a lot easier because they do have to work around your schedule.
And a lot, I think, as you get older and get more, like we're both juniors now, I definitely wouldn't have been able to manage the things that I do now when I was a freshman. So I think it's just as you get older, you learn what you're capable of and what you can handle.
Be sure you have a plan, but also be flexible. Things can come up. Have open communication with your supervisor. And identify your priorities. What's important to you? What advice can you give to someone wanting a student worker position?
It's more than just the first impression. It's a continual reinforcing that first impression, hopefully, which was a good one.
I would try to find a job on campus that is related to your major.
Just to talk to people. Don't be afraid to get out of your comfort zone and go into an office and ask, hey, are you hiring? Do you need any help? And that's basically, you just have to take a little bit of courage and just get out there and go for it.
I would say persistence is very important. There's about 14,000 students on campus.
Would you recommend Job Zone?
You can see what you need to work towards to be able to apply for those type of jobs.
Job Zone has a lot of on-campus and off-campus jobs available on their website, so go check it out.
Check it out at ipfw.edu/jobzone. Now a message from IPFW's Chancellor, Vicki Carwine.
Thank you for taking time to view this orientation video. The information that you've received is going to be very beneficial to you this year and to help you be successful as a student employee. As mentioned in the video, student employees are key to the success of IPFW, and so we thank you for taking on the various jobs that you're going to be performing during this year. And there are lots of advantages and also opportunities that you should look for as you start and continue your employment here. You'll gain new skills that are related to your field of study or your future career. You'll have the opportunity to network with all sorts of colleagues here on campus and in the business community. Take advantage of the conferences and meetings and workshops that will be available to you during your work time. And be sure to be in contact with student government. There are so many activities and projects and initiatives that you can become involved in and become engaged in through student government. I wish you the very best as you begin your employment as a student employee at IPFW, and have a great year.
Now that you have finished the IPFW Student Worker Orientation video and heard from Chancellor Carwine, do you have any questions?
Now is the time to ask your supervisor about the video and to get more information about your department.
You can also refer to the Student Employment website.
You are key to IPFW's continued success.
Take advantage of all we have to offer while you are here.